What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Checking in for this week's update video for the Swing Report ideas. And just a reminder that the Swing Report ideas that you're seeing here are just some of them. These are the public ideas. These are the ideas that have already been in rotation for some time, or they've already played out, and we're just looking for like follow-up plays with it. If you would like those ideas fresh off the presses, so to speak, then give the Swing Report a shot. There's a link in the bottom. If you wouldn't mind hitting us with a like and a subscribe, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let us get into the updates. So obviously our feature pick last week was Oracle, right? We were considering if it was time to sell Oracle, and certainly it was. So the setup that we shared last week was based off the idea that we had a lot of space for a lower high to be set under 127.42. And so we knew that we were also testing this bit of overhead supply here, right? So we knew that Friday closed like this. And so if you can just go back into the last video, there should be a link at the end in the corner over here. I think I may have pointed at the wrong corner. It's here, this corner. It will be here where I am at the moment. Yeah, the idea was that if value was going to move lower on the Monday session, then that would greatly increase the potential of this lower high being set, right? And so if we just zoom in, or rather, yeah, zoom in to our session to session profile, this is the exact, I think, unless I moved it by accident, this should be the exact same trade zone that was laid out in last week's video. You can double check my work if you like. And so obviously it shook out well, right? It pretty much played out exactly what we wanted, right? An open under the value area low, under the point of control of the prior Friday. And so this becomes our trade zone, the point of control all the way up to the value area high. And we just don't want to see a new high, because obviously if we see a new high, then that daily lower high is not being set. So that's the whole logic of this trade. And the targeting, if you recall, was based on the fact that there's a whole bunch of volume traded here. There's a big old spike here. So you put that all together, and there's your trade zone, there's your target, there's your risk. R multiple was 2.28, very very good. R multiple, it's a very good one, right? Because you only need to win roughly 33% of your trades, right, for you to be good with 2 to 1. So technically more, right, because it's 2.28. So anyway, that was the idea, and it played out quite well. So now if you did initiate this trade, then you could have taken profits at pretty much any time last week, and then throw your stop over the local high, because the daily high here, because that's the play that we were looking for, right? For this to be a daily lower high being set. And even if you put your stop over here on the high of day of for the play, no big deal if you're a Swing Report subscriber, because we let me just copy this over here, because well, I need a time for this one, I guess. Hang on a minute. Oops. Because we got you back with these active time-stamped updates. So these are always published. They also go out, they get sent to your email inbox, and there's also a place on our website for you to access these alerts as well, right next to our dashboard. So on 9/20 at 7:30, so I'm always working for you guys at 7:30 on a weekday. What day was that? A Wednesday. I was just flipping through the charts and thinking, okay, I remembered, all right, well, that Oracle setup is going to be reasonable again over on this session. Why on this session? Because on this day, what happened was this pop over here, right? And so on the 20th, I see that this high could potentially be another daily lower high under this high. And so it's the same exact idea, right? If value is to move lower in the next session, then this daily lower high is probably set as well. So we shared this trade zone in the morning. I also discussed the idea of the open play, where you can do the pass back under the open play. So here's your open. And if you don't even get to the value area low, and then of the prior session, right, you barely came into yesterday's range, and then you roll back down under the open, that's a sell. Your stop is over here. You're targeting the same exact place, or you're targeting the same, you're using the same concept for targeting the next area where there's high volume. That's what this trade idea was. That's, you put that all together, and if you do the pass back under the open play, then your risk is really good, I believe. Let me double check here. Over here, pretty good, not the best, but either way, I ended up just using this fill. So I was planning on doing the open play as well, but I very often am trading the futures, almost pretty much every morning I'm trading the futures. So if they happen right away in the morning, then I usually miss them, which is fine. The stock trades, I mean. So I just got this, just got the one fill, took some profits on the way down just so that I can throw my stop over here, be risk free, and now we'll just see how it goes. And that's pretty much it for Oracle right now. That's how I'm playing it at least. And what we're looking out for now on any bounce is a lower high under 114.70. So we'll see what the buyers can do. And if we do happen to see lower lows on this, there's really not that much structure built on the way up after this guy. So if the sellers are able to clear this structure down to like 104 or something ish, then really the volume picks back up at like 97. So this has the potential to get some legs, but obviously we'll take it one day at a time, and our positions are already protected, so it doesn't really matter what happens now. KMX was another one from recent picks. So if you recall, I also talked about a session to session setup in this name as well, because even though you did get a daily higher high here over this key resistance level, if you'll notice, it was a failure to get to the point of control, such that if we got a lower open on Monday, which we did, then the same exact thing can be used, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because we have this lower open here. So because you're under the point of control, you can top fish against the point of control, top fish against the value area high, throw your stop no later than here, but it can kind of just be over the value area high most of the time. Depends on how you want to manage your risk. Anyway, that play was there for you as well, and I believe I spoke about that last week. But also, if you're a scale-in kind of a trader, then this trade is working out fine for you. So many of our subscribers, they don't care to do session-to-session plays. They don't care to do pass back over the open plays. They're busy. They have things to do or whatever. We have one fella who's like camping across America, and he's like uses Starlink and stuff. So and he said the service is spotty sometimes, so he only does the longer term plays. And so the swing report is designed for everybody, for any kind of a trader. I mean, it's primarily want to teach you these concepts so you can do it yourself. And then if you understand the concepts, then it becomes much easier to trade these setups. So that's our goal. But if you do just want to trade the ideas, that's fine too. It's your life. I support your best life. Anyway, so the scaling approach, you're sitting pretty now. At this point, you should have at least 2 fills. You've had plenty of time to take profit. I suggested I pushed out an alert to take profit when we're just above this support, because you never know if the support's going to hold, right? So it just makes sense to get risk-free, or at least de-risk a little bit before that key test. You do have to be mindful that earnings is coming up according to TradingView on the 28th, so you want to be positioned to hold through that. Definitely take at least partial profits before that earnings comes around, because who knows how the market will respond to earnings. For example, here you had this massive gap up on it. And the gap is really the swing trader's like #1 enemy. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot of space for a daily lower high to be set under 83.24. Anything under that's going to be good for another daily lower high. These buyers will create no change without getting back over here, and that is pretty much it. So another freebie technically, right? Because this idea hadn't really played out completely yet for swing report people, subscribers. So yeah, there you have it. And then XOM. So XOM, this guy, we are ideally for XOM buyers, they're going to hold over this structure. So it's very key here, right? If you lose this low at 113.23, then you're probably looking at more balance under this and over this. So for the runners, for anybody who initiated down here, swing report subscribers who got those alerts, then you should stop out if this low is lost, and then we'll just look for another play based off of this structure again, depending on how price responds to the value area high here at 107.86. Now, on the weekly time frame, there is a good amount of space to set a potential higher low over 105.72, but we do have to be mindful that we are just looking at bigger picture balance. So there is certainly the potential that we move all the way back down to 100 again. So we'll see. We'll take it one day at a time, and that's why we will stop out of this, because we already got ours from this move anyway, and this is just our runner. And then finally, CRM. So CRM, it is do or die time. If CRM loses this structure as support, then this trade idea is certainly broken. And the original trade zone was actually this, so we that had played out over here already. I don't think that I personally would care to scale into this kind of a trade, just given the context of the market and whatnot. So personally, what I'd like to see for this now is I would like to see a daily bounce first. A few days where session to session value is moving higher. Ideally, we crack over this guy, and then I'll let value move lower for a few sessions. And if there's space for a daily higher low, Then I'll look for after values move lower for a few days. So after values move higher for a few days and then lower for a few days without violating this low, then the next time that there's a setup where you have an open above the prior day's value area high and point of control, the same exact setup that we had for KMX, ORL, ORCL, whatever, all of those Roku, whatever. It's the same exact setup. That's the context that I want to look for that setup in. If you do that here now, the context is very different because you're looking for a daily low, not a daily higher low, right? This is a lower low under this low. You see what I'm saying? This low is likely just going to set a lower high. But if we crack over this structure and then start retracing, the odds of seeing a higher low into a higher high are much better, and I would prefer to position for that. Okay, so that's it. That is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you are interested in getting these publications weekly and all of the live alerts from myself, Dan, Funk, and Lori, then give us a shot. If you are interested in just some free stuff, we got a bunch of links down there. Follow me on Twitter if you don't mind. Otherwise, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate you sharing some of your time and energy with me. And I hope to see y'all next week. Farewell.